Hello, 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 everyone. How's everybody doing this evening? Just kind of, y'all know I'll be doing Instagram and Facebook at the same time. Let's put it here. Maybe we'll do it like that. Okay. So how's everybody doing this evening? Maybe we'll just set this one over here. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday evening? Hope everyone this week has gotten off to a good start. I know last week was a short week because of the holiday. For those of you that celebrate the 4th of July, or even at least even if you don't celebrate the 4th of July, I'm pretty sure you spent some time with family and just basically enjoyed your time off of work, right? I know I did. All right, so let me put my tag on here and go ahead and start Instagram. All right, there we go. Okay, so we got Instagram going and Facebook. Okay. So you have joined me this evening for Evening Motivation with Jackie. I do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what I do is basically I share, I'm a confidence and success coach for those of you that do not know me. And what I do is I work specifically with women, African-American women, that are coaches or consultants. And what I do is I help them to eradicate, eliminate, get rid of all of that negative self-talk that goes on inside your head, as well as those self-sabotaging behaviors that prevent you from leveling up your business. So that's what I do in particular, and that is the purpose of Evening Motivation with Jackie. Okay. We're going to get started in just a moment here. Some reason or another, I got that Anita Baker song in my mind. You Bring Me Joy. Some of you out there that may be probably 35 and over know exactly what I'm talking about. I used to love me some Anita Baker. Remember how back in the day we used to, we would, like if, you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, we always had like a song. Everybody be like, oh, what's your song? Oh, what's your song? And the boyfriend that I had at that time, You Bring Me Joy was our theme song, if you will, right? I don't know why I got that song in my head right now. I started to put it on, but I ain't have time. All right, so this evening's discussion is developing or creating your own style as an entrepreneur. Developing or creating your own style as a coach or consultant. Let's be specific. Creating your own style as a coach or consultant, right? I'm sharing it to my group. I always forget that. Okay. So this is extremely important. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I know some of us, that have just started out. When I say just started out, I mean, you could be maybe a year in, maybe a couple years into your business. And you find that you are having, it's challenging, if you will, trying to gain momentum, right? Trying to actually create your own style. Really figure out what feels good to you, what feels right, what you feel comfortable doing as a coach or consultant. Because what somebody else is doing, right, may not suit you, may not be what's best for you, right? So that's why I want to talk about that, because I know I hear a lot of people, you follow different people. Let's say you follow different coaches, or consultants that you really like their work, you really admire them, they are successful, you know, and I know everyone has a different definition of what they consider successful, but you look at them, I'm concerned about your definition. You look at these individuals and you say that they are successful in what they're doing, right? And as a result, you may find yourself wanting to try to imitate what they are doing, right? Or sometimes we kind of get that syndrome. Well, if they're doing this and they're successful at it and they're making money, right, then maybe that's what I need to be doing. Okay, everybody's doing a podcast, so let me do a podcast, right? And the thing of it is that doesn't really work over the long haul, over the long run. You know, it's possible that it may bring you some short-term, it may have a good return short-term. That's what I'm trying to say. It may have a good return short-term, but for the longevity of your business, it won't work, right? So that's why I wanted to talk about this topic in terms of creating your own style as an entrepreneur. I know one of the posts I had put out recently, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, and it read, there is strength and power in your authenticity, right? And that's so important to me. I know me personally, it took me a while to really come into who I am as a person, right? And, you know, and that's different for everyone. Some people, let me focus on women. Some women may come into themselves in their mid-20s. Some maybe their early 30s. Some their 40s, maybe mid-40s, right? It's different for everyone, but it's still a journey all the same, and it's still rewarding all the same, right? Regardless of how long it took you or the path that you took to get there, it's still very rewarding. And being an entrepreneur, being a coach or consultant, it's still a journey. Even though you know, by this stage in the game, you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what your goals are, right? You know your long-term vision for your coaching or your consulting business. You know what that long-term vision is. However, sometimes that the whole part about how to get there is where we may not be quite clear, right? And that's okay because it's new to you. That's why I started off by mentioning that when we first start off, oh, hi, how are you? Thank you for joining. When we first start off in our business, you know, and this, and ladies, don't take this as a knock. I mean, I think this is very natural, right? Oftentimes, like I said, we have that end goal. We know what that end goal is. However, we may not be quite clear on our path, the path that we're going to take to get there. And y'all, let me just say this too. I know I'm shifting back and forth. I'm experimenting, right? Doing something different. I got a different setup here. So I got my phone over here with Instagram, and then I got Facebook over here. So if you see me doing that, that's why. So, and you know, you start off in your business, and like I said, you may not exactly know what's going to work for you. And also sometimes we go into it and we have one idea, right? And we start doing it and we're kind of like, maybe not. Maybe that doesn't quite work for me. And that's fine. That's okay. That's all part of the process, right? That's all part of the process. And then two, I'm sure if you talk to some seasoned coaches out there, they'll tell you that, you know what, I have come a long way. I started out doing one thing, and you know, this is what I thought. Even your target area or your target audience, sometimes that changes, right? And they'll tell you, well, I started out, I said I was going to do this, I was going to do that, or do it this particular way, and then they end up going down a totally different path, or something that they thought they were going to enjoy doing. Maybe they're kind of like, I don't really think I really want to do that. That doesn't feel good to me. So for the purposes of this evening's discussion, like I said, I'm trying to focus on little segments because I don't want to stay on too long because I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So I'm trying to keep these broadcasts to between 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. So the purpose tonight is for those listening that maybe you're going through a rebirth, if you will, in your coaching or your consulting business, or maybe you just started out, right? Let's just say. And you are trying to or working towards developing your own unique, authentic style as a coach or a consultant. And I wanted to share with you some ways to do that. So, one is to really pay close attention to what feels good to you. And I know that may sound simple. It may, sound like, well, duh, but oftentimes we don't, right? So I want you to pay close attention to the different activities that you are doing in your business to generate money, to generate, to reach your ideal client, right? To increase your impact. I want you to pay attention to those activities. Oh, hi, how are you? Thank you for joining. I want you to pay attention to those activities, right, that you are doing in your business, and pay attention to how it feels to you. Like, for example, for me, I love interviewing, right? I love interviewing people. I like meeting new people. I like finding out what their story is, what makes them tick, and how they like learning about their path, right? How they came from point A to point B, like what brought them to the point that they're at today. And that intrigues me. I like meeting new people, and I like hearing their stories, because I feel that we can learn and grow from one another just by the exchange, by being transparent and actually having an open exchange and an open dialogue and being honest and truthful about our journey. So that excites me. And I'm trying to see, did I know that in the beginning? I knew that in the beginning before I started the business. However, that wasn't how I had initially envisioned myself having an impact on my ideal client, right? If that makes sense. Like I said, I knew I enjoyed that because I'm actually a licensed clinical social worker. So I know that I enjoy, talking to people and kind of finding out their story and basically meeting people where they are, right? And helping them be able to utilize the tools that they already have to make the transformation or transformations in their life that they want to, right? Which is like, achieve their goals, whatever their desires are. So I knew that about myself, but I thought that I would want to do it in a different way. So I started out with the interviewing. Yeah, I feel the same way. Everybody is so interesting, and everybody has a different story. And some people, they may have similar backgrounds, right? But how they were impacted, throughout their lives by different things can be totally different. Just like you have people that have grown up in the same family, same mother, same father, same family, and they have a completely different perspective on their childhood, right? Two totally different people coming out of the same environment. So for me, doing the interviewing, I was like, wow, I like this, so I did a couple of things, and it gave me an opportunity to see what types of things I really enjoy doing. Oh, hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining, Missy. So, and it really gave me an opportunity to say, wow, I really like this. I enjoy doing this, and it took me a minute. So don't be so pay attention. So my number one is to pay attention to what feels good to you, to what feels right. I'll say that, to what feels right for you. And pay attention to that. If you're doing something and you're getting positive feedback and you enjoy doing it, you don't dread doing it, right? You're not like, oh my God, like time to make the donuts, right? So, and you enjoy doing it, pay attention to that. Because if you enjoy doing something, right? If you enjoy doing something, it's more likely that you're going to be consistent with doing it, right? It's more likely that you are going to come alive, and your true authenticity, right? Who you are as a person is going to come out while you're doing that, because you feel it feels good to you. It feels right. It's a good fit. It's a good fit for you, right? Just like a job. You know, you go to, you know, you different jobs, you interview for this job, you interview for that one. This particular job feels like a good fit. I look at it, it's the same thing. Now, again, I'm not saying that never change things up. I'm not saying don't go outside of your comfort zone. I'm not saying that at all, because I believe growth starts on the outside of your comfort zone, right? That you have to change it up. You got to switch it up. But also, too, I think you can find a balance between switching it up, right? Trying different things, and also paying attention to, like I said, what you enjoy doing, you know, and be able to incorporate that into your business, right? So that was the first one, is to pay attention to what feels good to you, to what lights you up, to what you get excited doing, right? And that's going to be multiple things, ladies, not just one thing, I'm sure. It can be several things, but pay attention to what you enjoy doing. So that's number one. And then number two is that always remember that and this is kind of piggybacking on number one, but that we are all unique individuals, right? Like how I talked about that being authentic. We are all unique individuals. We all bring something different to the table, right? I'm a life coach. You know, there's 20, 30, 40, 50 other life coaches out there. Let's just say probably even in the Michigan or greater Detroit area that I'm in now, right? And, oh, I see my internet is kind of weak. I think it's because it's raining outside. I hope it clears up. Tell you never know like how it's going to go with this, with the technology. And it looks clear, but then when I'm looking at the recording, I see I'm fuzzy. I hope y'all can still hear me. Yes, my internet is, it says I still got a signal, so I don't know, y'all. But that really threw me off because I hate that. So we all bring something different to the table. We are all unique based on our experiences, our background, our personalities, our temperament, right? We all bring something different to the table. And don't be afraid to let that show. You know what I mean? I think that especially those of us that are come from very professional backgrounds. Let me clarify. When I say professional backgrounds, like maybe corporate America, right? We come in with a whole different perspective on, you know, what being a professional is, right? And making things, what's the word? Making things similar, you know, not having a lot of consistency, right? Like within a company or agency, policies and procedures should be standard across the board for all the different departments, right? So that's a whole different mindset. But for me, in a business like being a coach or consultant, I'm sure in others as well, but I'm just primarily focusing on coaches and consultants, is that let your true self shine out. If you're a Michael Jackson fan, you know, I don't know, start off your speech with a little tidbit about Michael Jackson. Did you know this? Blah, 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 blah about Michael Jackson, you know, right? Or if your favorite person is Beyonce, or you got a favorite artist, so, you know, favorite artist, a favorite movie, whatever, you know, because that is unique. That makes you who you are, right? If you make a joke and laugh at your own joke, I know I do that. I'll make a joke in a minute and laugh at it. But that's me. That's who I am, right? So don't be afraid to let who you are shine through. Let it shine through. You know what I mean? Because when it still says it's messed up, when people buy into you, so to speak, right? Buy into your brand, it's not just all about your product or your service. They're buying into you, you know, who you are and the way you make them feel. Right? If they feel like they can relate to you, if they could relate to you, right? We're not still saying. Now it said waiting for connection, or I'm gonna have a conversation with these internet folks, y'all. And this is supposed to be high-speed internet. So the first one, well, I'm scared it may end up cutting me off. But the number two is be your authentic self. Let yourself shine through. I want to make sure I at least get through some of them. Let your authentic self shine through. Okay? Because people are attracted to you and who you are as a person. Okay? So keep that in mind. So that's the second one. And the first one is pay attention to what feels good to you. So that's two things so far. Pay attention to what feels good to you. And oh, hi, how are you? Thank you for joining. Pay attention to what feels good to you and let your authentic self shine through. Okay. So those are two that I wanted to mention. And last but not least, this is a whole nother ball game, but I think it's important to mention. Decrease the number of people that you follow. Did y'all hear me? Decrease the number of people that you follow. Like, let's say, you have all these coaches. Maybe, you're in all these different people's groups, business groups, coaching groups, self-development groups, let's just say. And, you're following all these different coaches. Like I said, you're in their groups. And the thing of it is, I think that sometimes if we're not careful, that can have an impact on us being authentic. Because again, like I started out talking about, I think that sometimes you can see someone and because you admire them, you like their skills, you think they're a wonderful coach, they appear to be successful, by your standards. And you may have a tendency to think that, well, if they're doing this and they're successful, then maybe I need to do what they're doing. And maybe not just do what they're doing, but do it how they're doing it, right? If you're not careful. So I think that if you decrease the number of people that you're following, as well as the number of groups that you're in, right? I think that can help you to kind of refocus, or should I say to stay focused, to really pay attention to what's working for you, what you're doing in your business that's working, as well as what feels good to you, right? What feels good to you, what's working, and what, and letting your authentic self show. And I think that sometimes, and like I said, maybe not on a conscious level, but maybe on an unconscious level, that we begin to follow people and, next thing you know, we just see ourselves just scrolling through people's feeds. Oh, they're doing this. Oh, they're doing that. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. Then you go through maybe one of your other coaches that you're following that you really like their style. Oh, let me see what she's up to. Oh, well, she did this and well, she's doing that. She got this retreat and she's offering this group program. And I like the way she, I don't know, comes on, does makeup during her lives. I don't know, whatever, right? And I think that will, you kind of look at that and you, like I said, it may not be consciously, but sometimes unconsciously or consciously, if you comparing yourself. Because when you compare yourself, when you're looking at that, right, you're looking at this other person, what they're doing, and you're saying to yourself, okay, well, they're successful, so maybe I need to imitate this person. Maybe I need to do what they're doing. If they're throwing out an offer every week, then maybe, or every other day, maybe I need to throw out an offer every other day, right? So I just think that especially until you kind of get a real grip or grasp on what it is that you want to do in your business, what your purpose is, what's important to you, what feels good to you, you're being authentic when delivering your message. If you are kind of undecided or on the fence in any way, I think that is the perfect time to kind of pull away and pull back and like not follow so many people, so many other coaches and consultants, and not spend a whole lot of time going to other people's pages and just basically scrolling through their feed, and just saying, okay, let me see what they got up or what they're doing, And I know sometimes we do it. We see a post that intrigues us. We're like, oh, let me see what she's doing. Next thing you know, you on that person's page and you done spent about 15 minutes on that person's page, right? When that could have been 15 minutes spent on, doing something, a productive activity for your business. I mean, that goes into time management. That's a whole nother segment or parts that I do, but I just wanted to throw that out there. But so those three things, if you decrease the number of coaches and consultants that you're following, as well as decrease the number of groups, Facebook groups that you're in. I know some people request membership to my group, and it's like they're in like 100 some other groups, right? And again, think about, even when you follow somebody or you're in a group, if you have those notifications on, then you get notified every time somebody posts something, every time somebody got an idea, somebody's doing a live, somebody got a new program coming out, you know. And like I said, if you are not grounded already in what you're doing, you know, your own style, what you're focusing on in your business, it's easy to get sidetracked, and it's easy to, whether it be consciously or unconsciously, start to try to imitate that other individual, start trying to throw stuff in there that doesn't really suit your personality, but you're doing it because you feel like that's what you got to do in order to be successful, right? So pay attention to those things. Okay, so those are just 3 tips in terms of how to effectively create your own authentic style as a coach or consultant. I'm sorry, I keep saying entrepreneur, but I want to be specific, as a coach or consultant, right? So be mindful of how many people you're following, how many groups you're in. Be mindful of comparing yourself to other coaches or consultants, right? Be mindful of, oh, well, if they're doing this and they're successful, this is what I need to do. So be mindful of that, you know, that whole comparing piece, and then the imitation piece, be mindful of that. Also be mindful of, or the second one, which is be mindful of what feels good to you, what feels right, what feels natural for you. Okay? Because in order to do it and to be consistent, it has to feel good to you, and it has to flow. It has to be a good fit for your personality. Right? So that was number 2. And number 1, it actually just slipped my mind, yo, just that quick. Number 2 was be mindful of what feels good to you. Try not to imitate other people. And oh my God, y'all, what was the first one? Oh my God, I can't believe it. All of a sudden I just got like a brain freeze. The first one was to, what did I say for the first one, y'all? I can't remember now. I can't believe I just completely drew a blank. Oh my God. So, oh, okay. Somebody sent me a message. Yeah. So, oh, sorry. I hope y'all didn't hear that part. Forgot to turn my alerts off. So, being your authentic self, in terms of, I'm just going to do a recap and maybe to come back to me. So doing a recap for creating your own unique style as an entrepreneur, right? And I ended off with talking about, don't follow so many people. Don't compare yourself to these other coaches and consultants, because you're thinking, well, if they're successful, I have to do what they're doing in order to be successful. Then I talked about, be mindful of what feels good to you. You know, what is it about, what unique talent or what unique gift do you bring, right? Because we all have it, because we all have different experiences. We all bring something different to the table. So to please be mindful of that. And I was trying to see, and my other one didn't come back to me, y'all. Oh, I'm so upset with myself, between the internet. Oh, and now the internet is back. Now I forgot what the first one was. Woo, okay. It is just Tuesday. Okay. It is just Tuesday. So, because I initially started off by talking about the interview, and I said that really feels good to me and that I enjoy doing that. I know I was talking about explore different things. Oh my God. Yo, I'm sorry. You have to go. You have to rewind the video a little bit more to see what the first one was. But I just think that it was extremely important to talk about individuality and being unique. I think now we're so in this society, we are so into, like maybe a standard of beauty has to be a certain thing, right? So everybody, now my phone's about to die. A standard of beauty is a certain thing. So everybody has to, wear the same style of clothes, wear, longer hair and this style of makeup and so on and so forth. I think that we have moved away from being an individual, right? And when it comes to entrepreneurship, that's your opportunity to be an individual, to be who you are, to let your authentic personality shine through. Let it shine through. Don't try to bottle it up. Let it shine through, right? So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about that, just to give you those 3 tips, easily implementable, just something for you to think about, even if one resonated with you, right? Please, start utilizing it, start working it, really taking the time to think about what it is you enjoy doing and what resonates with you, what flows with you. So please, ladies, share this video out. Sharing is caring. I'm so sorry that it kind of messed up a little bit in the middle. I hope that everyone can still hear me, even though it was a little fuzzy. I hope you could, still hear what I was saying. I'm going to go back and listen to it in a minute. But share the video out. Please tag a coach or a consultant that you feel may benefit from this message. Tag a coach and share it out. Also, again, I'll say my name again. My name is Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. I am a confidence and success coach. I work specifically with African American women that are coaches and or consultants. And I basically work with them to help them eradicate, eliminate all of that negative self-talk that goes on inside of our heads, right? That causes self-doubt, as well as helping them to eliminate or figure out what the root cause is of that self-sabotaging behaviors that we have, right? And be able to effectively address them. So we stop getting out of our own way, right? So we are able to truly live or create the business as well as the lifestyle of our desires, right? And be able to live the life that we want to live, right? So to be happy, to be abundant, and to be able to derive income, a good income from doing what we enjoy doing, right? Being able to let our true strengths and talents shine. So that's what I do. Again, this is Evening Motivation with Jackie. This is every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so thank you, ladies. I'm going to go ahead and end on Instagram first because my phone is going to cut off. So thank you again. And please join me on Thursday at 10 p.m. And also, this is the second Sunday of the month. I do 8 Queens Roundtable Show. And it's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, it's every second and fourth Sunday. So it's this Sunday, which is the 14th. At 3 p.m., I'm going to interview Miss Brittany Slack. So if you can, please join us live. If you can't, please catch the replay, share it out, tag a coach, leave your questions or comments for us, okay? All right. So Instagram, you have a wonderful evening, and thank you, ladies, for joining. Okay. And Facebook, I love you. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much, ladies. Please share the video out. And again, I hope you guys can still hear me in the middle of the video when it was messing up. It's just raining. All right, y'all. So have a good evening, and please join me again on Thursday. All right. Bye-bye.